Hello everyone, welcome to Try Right, the new era of learning. Myself Rafiq. Let's move to the topic. Today we're discussing about K nearest neighbors. Okay, KNN in machine learning. Okay, so in simple terms, the KNN acts like it finds the nearest neighbors. Okay, it is a supervised machine learning algorithm, generally used it for classification, but can also use it for regression tasks also. It works by finding the k closest data points neighbors to the given input and make the predictions based on the majority class for classification or the average value for regressions. Since KNN makes no assumptions about the underlying and data distribution, it makes a non-parametric and instance based on learning methods. Okay, let be the side of this definition. Explain in my own terms. Okay, it will be clear and understandable. So KNN is nothing but it is a simple machine learning algorithm. Okay, that predicts the output for a new data point based on how the similar it is. Okay, to other known points. Okay, it checks the k closest data points and takes a vote. Majority votes win. It chooses that. Okay, like in decision making trees. Sorry, in random forest, we use like that. Okay, it takes a majority vote decisions. Okay, like that in KNN also it takes the nearest neighbor has the majority. Okay, it uses the distance, measure the closeness, and works well from the classification task like detecting spam emails or identification handwriting digits. Okay, mostly it used for that. Mostly we use KNN in recommended systems, image recognition for test categorization, in medical diagnosis also it will be used. Okay, it helps for work well with a small data sets. Okay, simple and it is a simple method to use. Okay, no training phase needed. Okay. Now simple example, let's take a simple example for better understanding. Let's discuss about the steps. Okay, KNN step by step. Okay, first we want to choose the k, the number of the nearest neighbor for the like this, the number of the nearest neighbor for the consider. Okay, measure the distance between the point and want to classify. Okay, and the other all points, and find the k nearest neighbor like the between those data like here, finding the k nearest neighbor by voting. Okay, select the closest k point data. Vote the majority class for classification, checking with the class most common algo among the k neighbor. Okay, predict the class, assign the class with the highest votes. Okay, like that it select the data. It is easy. Let's discuss about it a little bit more, and I after give a simple example for that. Now, Kenya's neighbor is also called as a lazy learner. Okay, why? Because I explain explain after later after the definition. So algorithm because it does not learn from the training sets. Okay, immediately instead it stores the data sets and at the time of classification, it performs an action on the data sets. How to choose? Okay, I already explained it in simple terms how to choose the k data. Okay, let's take the example data sets. Like we can say example data sets. Here we have ingredients: what apple, bacon, banana, carrot, celery, cheese. Okay, we have sweetness 10, 1, 10, 7, 3, 1. Okay, crunchiness. Okay, or 9, 4. These are number rating out of 10. We are giving apple is sweetness and crunchiness. Okay, we also know. And banana is sweetness and it is not crunchiness. Okay, it is a smooth part. Okay, so like that, we divide a example data sets and food type. Apple is a fruit, bacon is a protein, and banana also fruit. It's also considered into protein, but uh, we call as fruit. Okay, so it is considering food, carrot, vegetable, cheese, protein. Okay, like this we have a data set. For this data set, we we enter into the machine. Like this, the data will be spread into a different parts. So here we can see the data will present in the most of the data will present in the different areas. Like we can see how sweet the food taste. Okay, how crunchy the food taste. According to this, we assume a graph. Let's see. Let understand in clear way for this. Now here we can see. Here we can see the data nuts and curly and like green beans, a cucumber, nuts is in its crunchy tay. Okay, so this is all one data set. Like we call it as one cluster data set. An apple, pear, grapes, orange, banana. This all comes into the fruit section. Okay, so let's write. This all comes into the fruit section, and for this nuts, pecans, this also comes into the cheese section. Okay, crunchy. So here we have a data corn nut. Okay, for these nuts, okay, wait. Nuts is not nuts, not nuts. It's also considering into the red data set. Okay, it also considering into the red data sets because we didn't find any other specific data here. Sh- Okay, so this under comes in nuts. Let us assume here we have another data we called tomato. We take tomato here. Here we have a tomato. For this tomato, we can assign the data like this. The three clusters where observed this data. Okay, which one is nearest? Okay, like that the data will takes the input the data. Okay, here we can see like this. The we can see the assumption of closeness. Instead of this, I show in the picture. Let's take the fruit as tomato. In the C, we has a vegetables. Okay, a protein. Oh, sorry. It comes into the protein. Sorry. Okay. We see the carrot, cucumber, green beans into vegetables, and apple, pear, grapes, into fruits, and sheep, fish, and nuts comes into the protein. We have three clusters here. Okay. And below we call it three group set of data. Here we assume a tomato. Okay. So in this taste, and does taste like a vegetable. I knew a vegetable when I taste one. Okay. The both are discussing food taste, sweet and crunchy, discussing about the tomato. Which one we want to assign for tomato, for vegetable or protein or in a fruit. Okay. Like that, it predicting. So here the data will set. So like this, it's assigned like nearest part to vegetable. No, the data will analysis like this. If the condition will false, it enters into the fruits. If the condition will true, so the score will be correct. It enters into the vegetables. Okay. Let's do a simple code among this vegetable. Depends on vegetable. I want I explain in simple terms for you this. Okay. Let's move into the Jupyter. I take the this data set. This the example data set into a simple code. Okay, open the Jupyter for all open for Jupyter. Okay, here I already entered the data. This is my data sets. Here we have 10, 9, 20. Like this. Here the data we have 10 sweetness for 9 for crunchiness. Like this, I entered the data. Okay, here has a fruit, protein, vegetable. So here we want to run this code and we want to predict. We want to create a model called sklearn. From sklearn, we creating a neighbor. We creating a neighbor from that imported from sklearn. We are importing from sklearn from neighbor. Sorry, nor not. It's bo okay neighbors. We are importing k neighbor. Okay, k neighbors classifier. Okay, from here we are importing k neighbor classifier. From it we are entering a classifier. From classifier we are assigning the KNN. Okay. From here I giving n equal to neighbor any. Okay, neighbors equal to 3. I'm assigning the data has 3. Now I want to classify the fit. Okay, sorry. Now I want to fit this model of fruit and this data. Okay, for predicting x and y. Okay. Now what's expression cannot be phased in. Wait, somewhere get me from SK11. Any spelling mistake? I think neighbors import. Okay, here. Okay, now it's fine. Still, still, where did I make mistake? Neighbors spelling correct and classifier. Classifier here also. Right. What the, what's it's happening? Okay, here not this. I think is underscore. Yeah, it create the model underscore. Now right. Okay. Now I want to predict the data of tomato. Want to predict the data of tomato. I has gave data has 6 by 4. I want to predict which it comes. For that, I want to print classifier dot predict. I want to predict it tomato. Okay. For tomato, I'm predicting it is and which kind of it. See, it's a protein. It's Q as a protein. For tomato, it's Q as a protein. Okay, it enters into the protein data set because according to the data, his model uses KNN means K nearest neighbor. Okay, according to the equal data, we also discussed like that. If the data is false, it enters into the protein. Like the data is present here, right? It's nearest to the proteins. Okay, so enters. So it taken the data set taken into the protein. Okay. Now take us another fruit called carrot. Um, so you see, it's carrot is going into under vegetable. Okay, we can see carrot is going into under vegetables. Okay, it's better. It's in the data of vegetable, right? So like this, the data will consider as here. So let's build another model in large way. So I explained already. Like this, we want to predict the data and find the nearest neighbor. So I already done this code in large. So in I will show that. So here we can see we also know the Aries data set, which is a kind of flower. So it has a three species called Setosa, Versicolor, and Virginica. Okay, Versicolor and Virginica, right? We import the pandas for read the table, and we import the data set. It already inbuilt imported. It already there in sklearn. Okay, it is a data set or in sklearn. Okay, we loading the data. We checking the we has a future names called sepal sepalweight, petal and petal. From this we want to draw a graph based structure. Okay, after that we want to draw a heat map like this from the data. So from data set, we are seeing the data sets like we all know. If you watch the decision making trees from the startings onwards, you can see the data, this data, same code up to till here. We adding the flower name, we adding the target column and removing the target column. We assign the target column into X and after flower name into Y. Okay, flower name set also like that 1 to 50 we are assigning like here. See here 1 to 50 the data has 1 to 4 like 0 0 targets, one has setosa, one has versicolor, sorry, two has versicolor, virginica, and two, one has versicolor. Like the data will separated. Okay, see 52, 100 is versicolor, and 1 to 50 is setosa, and after that, uh, but see after that, 2 has virginica. Okay, like that we created a data sets here, and we import matplotlib from line, and we plot the data and label it as length and width. We assign the data here, and the graph will design like this. See how the data is separated. Both data we has here of each data set, and like that we also is sepal length and sepal width. We has a petal length and petal width too. The how for the data is removing the gathering the nearest neighbor data. So from this, we want to trace the data now. We creating the test data from targets and flower name which we dropped. We assign for the y. After that, we trace the data from 120, 30, and we get the score of. We created a model here. Recently, we created here, right? We created a model. It is a short code. It is understand. It is a long code to classify more data sets. Okay. So C classifier the neighbor data has 96% is score test. We want to predict the data of KNN nearest point of sepal length, it forms the model and we converts into the array. Okay, here's the prediction data sets. For better understanding, we can predict the data like this. From this, we can see the predicted and truth. The value of 2 is 6, and the truth also 6. Like the data will assign to true, like that. Okay. The predicted value is 12, and the truth value also 12. Like that, it assigned value. Okay. But I said also, if the in the case of one, if the two predicted has one, truth predicted has another value. So further the condition it will assign as a 1. Okay, for 0 it has a no relationship between the two lines of the variables. Okay, two data sets doesn't have any relationship. If the one has one side relationship, all right, ultimate, we can see if the two predicted one and truth is another value 12. So like this the data set get only one side prediction lies of 1. Okay, both the variables is not considered with the true value. Like that we classify a report, it is a report of matrix. Okay, like I hope you guys you understand it well. Again, I want to say that KNN is nothing but we take the nearest data, explain in code and theory. Okay. Hope you guys will understand. Thank you.